Our problem was, how can we make an all-natural paint that won't emit harmful chemicals or toxins and blends into nature? Many houses or cabins that are surrounded by trees and plants will stick out like a sore thumb, even if the paint is supposed to be a natural color. Paint is one of the main causes of photochemical smog, so a paint with natural ingredients would help with that problem. We need to make sure that this all-natural paint is not harming the environment around it, while at the same time is properly doing its job of enhancing and protecting a building. A chameleon helps us with our problem because they have a crystal in their skin which reflects light to make it look like their skin is changing colors with the change in environment. They use this ability to change colors in order to express their mood, mate, and keep it at a steady temperature. If we added this to the paint on a building, then we could successfully blend that building into the nature around it.
The crystals in the chameleon's skin, which is represented by salt, reflects light to give the color-changing effect, which is healthier for the environment. There are different layers of pigment found in their skin. If a house was painted with our natural paint and a top coat was applied which had the chameleon crystals in it, then light would be able to filter through, allowing different colors to appear depending on its surroundings. The structure of the chameleon's skin is one of layers. There is a layer of black and brown pigment, a layer of iridophores that produce structural color, and a layer of yellow and red pigment on top. The relaxed color of a chameleon is green, which is produced by blue light reflecting off the iridophores and traveling through the yellow pigment. That layered system, when incorporated into a house paint job, will allow for the house to change colors in the same way. The crystals in the iridophores are constructed in a 3D lattice shape, which can spread apart when excited. It would look something like this: the crochet square representing the relaxed form of crystals, and the paper underneath is what you would see when the crystals are excited.
So this is it relaxed, and then that's what it would look like when the iridophores are excited.
In places that require a certain paint color, they can just have one paint for everyone to use so that all of the buildings blend into the surroundings. And this will allow people to not worry about painting their house a color that will be disapproved of and have to be repainted. People who are allergic or sensitive to chemicals in the paint will also now have an option which has none of the things that would trigger a reaction. The paint won't fade. Because of the nanocrystals, the pigment is protected so that it won't fade while it is not harming the environment. Most won't fade for a very long time. That's because it has harsh chemicals inside, but our paint won't fade because of the structure. The paint itself is sustainable right now, but the environment isn't so. Having this paint would allow people to still paint their houses without the guilt of them hurting the environment. Because of the natural ingredients, this can benefit both human and environment without hurting anyone.
When we first started this project, we had trouble deciding what we were even going to mimic. Once we did, we didn't run into any trouble until we got to testing our product. Paint requires very specific amounts of certain ingredients, so we had a difficult time trying to get it just right. We tried so many different combinations, and it was always either too watery, too much like paste, or chunky. Many times we thought we had the correct consistency, only to find out that it would separate or sink through the paper. One of the formulas turned into a type of sticky Play-Doh-ish mush. After about an hour and a half total, we finally got it right. We also ran into trouble when we were in the process of writing our script. Halfway through, we realized we didn't have all of the components necessary to complete the video, or what we didn't match up with what the rubric wanted. We had to do extra research from what we had already done and spent lots of extra time making it just right. We spent quite a bit of time finalizing all the details so that we could present the video the way it was intended to be presented.
While it was hard for us to figure this all out, it's done now. Anyone can use the recipe, and we encourage you to. If you mix up some of this natural paint as opposed to the stuff you buy from the store, you're helping to take just another step towards making our earth more healthy. Paint is responsible for emitting many chemicals that are very harsh and can cause respiratory problems. In the grand scheme of things, they also contribute to photochemical smog, which to a certain extent is in every city. Our paint doesn't have any harmful chemicals in it, so it can't contribute to the photochemical smog. A chameleon changes color based on temperature as well as environment, and if a building could reflect or absorb light, then it would be much more energy efficient when it comes to heating and cooling bills. This idea could be used on any number of items besides buildings, such as cars or getting the perfect camouflage with hunting gear. The possibilities are endless, and if someone such as yourself were to invest in purchasing a product such as ours, you would not only be helping the earth, but also purchasing something that is cutting edge and environmentally forward. Anyone of any age would find this to be a worthwhile purchase.
The ingredients we used to make our final paint were 3 tablespoons of flour and water, 1.5 tablespoons of salt, and 3 drops of food coloring. We then mixed it into a paste that was not too thick and not too thin to paint, and we were able to paint it on a piece of paper. We had to do this many times to get the consistency that we wanted.